All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start this lesson by giving all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rachakudash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us all this truth and who also rule and teach well. And Shalom. Taught the Achim in this truth and sincerity, starting with the 144,000 and the one third of the nation of Israel, which we are fighting to be a part of. And this is your brother Chabar Yakov coming back, Lord willing, with another quick and edifying lesson. And this is just going to be a response to an interesting video or reel that I saw on IG, all right, on Instagram. And basically, it's just going into the truth. Basically, simply put, it's going into the cat being out the bag, all right? The truth is out there now, all right? The average, so-called American is beginning to wake. Well, I'm not gonna say wake up, because these people are still in a, they're still spiritually asleep, but they're starting to see things. They're starting to see certain things. They're starting to see that things aren't what they seem. All right, that what we have been taught. And when I say we, I'm speaking in the sense of anyone who was born in America, was raised up here. The average so-called American, is starting to see that things aren't what they seem. What we've been taught isn't so, you know. And basically, I'm about to play the clip, and I got a few precepts, so I'm gonna just go ahead and play it.
Other than bad. Oh yeah, and why does the KKK burn crosses? Thought you guys were Christian. This is another video for black people. The Sphinx, the nose, it's like broken off. That's because it had a black nose, like the features of a black person's nose. And because we stole Egypt and all of their technology, we had to break the nose off. It's what we do best, whitewashing. Some other things that come to my mind, other than batteries and
Right, and the scripture says in the book of Psalms that the Lord is gonna make his tongue to fall upon himself. All right, the him being the wicked, the devil, which is Esau, Edom, the so-called white race, which they're not really white, they're red, and them calling themselves white was also deception. Them coming up with white, black, yellow, as if those are races. There's no such thing. That's all a part of their witchcraft, and it's all coming out. It's all being exposed. That's what this guy's going into. Which I'll say this, it does say he shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves, but he might be a Jake. You never know, because I'm gonna continue on. He really, uh, he's saying the truth. He might be a Jake, but you never know. All right, and I'm saying that because you got Israelites, which are you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and also Israelite foreigners, scattered among the other nations, outside of the Israelites. So you never know; he could be one. But and I'm gonna say this too. He keeps saying black, which I know he's just he's not in the know. But I'm gonna say this on this video for edification's sake: there's no such thing as black. There's no such thing as white. There's 18 nations in the Bible. All right, you could read about some of them in Genesis chapter 10. All right, but there's only 18 nations in the Bible that the Most High God created, which the Most High God, his true name in the ancient Paleo Hebrew is Yahweh, which means he is or he exists. And his son's name is Yahweh Shai, which means he saves or he delivers. All right. And Yahweh Bahasham, which is in the name Yahweh Shai, they only created, well, he through his son only created 18 nations. All right. So I'm going to continue on.
electricity being stolen from the Egyptians. Jesus was sold for 30 pieces of silver. That was also coincidentally the most amount of money a black slave could be traded for back in Roman times. Have you ever wondered how Jesus or a Jew or some Hebrew person
I'm going to say this too, again, for edification's sake. That's not his name. All right. Like I just said, the Most High God, his true name is Yahweh. All right. And his son's name Notice I said his son. They're two different people. They're not the same entity. You know, the Christians, they talk about the Trinity. You know, they're all one person. No, the Father and the Son are two different people. You know, but the Son came from the Father, though. You know, he's a splitting image, or I don't know if it's spitting or if it's splitting or spitting. I'm gonna just say spitting image. That sounds about right. He's a spitting image of his Father. You know, and in the way that he thinks, the way that he looks at, and you know, all that. But they're two different people. The Son's name is Yahweh Shai. It's not Jesus. That's not his name. You won't be saved if you calling on Jesus. No one who calls on Jesus will be saved. All right. If there's anyone on the planet Earth in times of trouble that's calling on Jesus, they're not going to be saved. All right. You know, but there is 144,000 men of the nation of Israel, and 1/3 men, women, and children, you know, which is mainly the husbands of those women, is going to call on Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and be saved. That's written. All right. But calling on God and Jesus, that's not. Well, I'll say this, you know, you could put it to the test. All right. Keep calling on those names. And when time of trouble comes, let's see if they deliver you. I'll say that. But I'm going to tell you the true names are Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. All right. And the elect, according to Ecclesiasticus, I believe 17:10, either 17:10 or 10:17, it says the elect shall praise his holy name. All right.
Walked into a town and everyone knew right away that they were Jewish. How do you know someone's religion? Just by looking, because they're black people.
Right. And I want to say this. They try to say that that's a religion. But that's in the scriptures. There's no religion. There's no belief system to where an Ishmaelite could say, you know, oh, I want to be, you know, I got to be careful with my words too. You know, I mean, well, I'm speaking about the Bible. You know, the Jews can be found in the Bible. So I'm gonna just say it. You know, I'm not gonna hold my tongue. This is a video going into, you know, discussing the Bible, the scriptures. What's in the scriptures? The Israelites, the Jews. All right. So I'm gonna just say it. But that's not a religion. You know, they added an ish to the end of it and it became a religion, but it's a nationality. You can't convert to that. You gotta be of that seed. And that's only a Jew, at least in the New Testament, is only referring to Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. All right. What about the other 10 tribes? You know, what about, well, the other 9/10 tribes, you know?
It's that simple. Have a mind, grow a brain. Dude, Kanye was right. Crucifixion itself was a torture method reserved for the slave class, black people in Rome. You think they were doing that to white people? Oh, did you know all the gladiators were black too? Oh, Spartacus. It wasn't a white dude. All those black names in the Bible.
And he's absolutely right. He's on point. You know, the Spartans were all so-called black. You know, like he said, what did he say? Spartacus, you know, was so-called black. All right, the gladiators were black because those were slaves. Those were like prisoners. They were low level. You know, but I think in the Colosseum and the gladiatorial fights, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not too keen on that history, but I think they actually freed them if they won enough battles. So they basically fought for their freedom, but they were all Israelites in those Colosseums, you know, the gladiators, all right. And they even threw, you know, the early Christians, which are Israelites, the believers in Yahweh Shai, they threw them in the Colosseums and they got torn to pieces by, you know, tigers and lions. All right. So, you know, Esau got a lot to pay for. Which who were the Romans? What biblical nationality were the Romans? They were the Edomites. All right. Of course, you had other nations in there, just like America. You got other nations because Rome conquered other nations, so they assimilated different nations. But who was the ruling class? You know, during the pagan Roman Empire, it was the Edomites. Now, Israelites, Jakes, took over during the Holy Roman Empire. All right, when you had the four good emperors, you know, I believe. Well, I'm not like I said, I'm not too keen on that history, but you know, Marcus Aurelius, Nerva. You know, you had four good emperors, and they were Israelites. But I'm gonna just continue on.
Zechariah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Enoch, Isaiah. We can do this a long time. We really can. It's the entire Bible. It's a black history book. It's
So that's pretty much it. Uh, the title is gonna be "The Bible is a So-Called BLK, BLK, BLK history book." You know, and I say so-called because, like I said, there's no such thing as black. There's no nation of people in the Bible known as black. There's only 18 nations of people in the Bible, 18 races. You know, so you can understand. And not one of them is black. Not one of them is white. You know, you got the Israelites, you got the Edomites, the Ishmaelites, Moabites, Ammonites, so on and so forth. But no, not black, no white. Those aren't real nationalities. You know, those aren't real races. But I'm gonna get Isaiah 25:7. I'm gonna try to make this quick too. All right, and it says, "And he will destroy in this mountain." Again, I mentioned in one of my recent videos, mountain represents a government. So he, which is the Most High God, will destroy in this mountain, in this government. What is that? What government is this talking about? Prophetically, it's talking about Babylon the Great, aka America. It says, "The face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations." So basically, all the lies that have been pushed is being exposed. You know, like I said, people are figuring out, you know, the so-called white man lied, that God isn't white, you know, that so-called Jesus isn't white, that the angels aren't white, that they're really black. People are figuring that out. People are figuring out that the Israelites are so-called blacks. The average person is figuring this out. The average person is figuring out Jacob and Esau. Because the truth is being pushed. All right? The truth is out, you know? Because we're at the end right now. All right, what does the scripture say? Yahweh Shai said in Matthew 24, "This gospel shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come." So before the destruction comes, this truth is going to be pushed in the whole earth. Everyone is going to know it. Right before all hell breaks loose, right before the destruction, you know. But the Lord is taking off that veil. He's taking off the blindfolds off of all nations, you know. People are starting to wake up now. Well, like I said, really only the elect is going to wake up fully. Is going to truly wake up. But people are starting to see things. That's what I'm saying. You know? So that was it. I'll get Isaiah 60. I don't even know why I'm doing that. All I got to do is this. It says, Isaiah 61, "Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee." That's talking about the elect, the prophets. His glory is this truth. It's risen upon us. We've awoken. We woke up. You know, I kept slipping of the tongue saying these people are waking up. No, they're not. They're starting to see things, but they're not waking up. We've awoken. We're awake. That's the glory of the Lord is risen upon us. All right. We know his name. We know how he looks. We know that the Father and the Son aren't the same. We know that the so-called UFOs are really the angelic vehicles. We know how the angels look. We know that the Lord is coming back. Like, that's the glory of the Lord is risen upon us. That's why I said, "Arise, shine." Let me read that again. It says, well, I'll read it in the NLT. It says, "Arise, Jerusalem. Let your light shine for all to see. For the glory of the Lord rises to shine on you." All right, back in the KJV, it says, "For behold," "For behold, darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. but the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. So this whole world is in a dark state. Like I said, they're really not awoken, but they're starting to see things. They're starting to see things for what they are. But that's that darkness that these people are in. They don't got the 100% truth like we do. The Lord didn't reveal his secrets to them. All right, Amos 3 and 7. All right, he didn't reveal his secrets to them. So, where was I at? It says, but the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. So people, it's going to come a time, he said, I will make a man more precious than fine gold. The times that we're coming into, the men that know what we know through the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai, in all humility, the Lord willing, we're those men. But the people who know what we know are going to be highly sought after. People who got the answers of what's going on. It's about to get real bad out here, man. It's about to be life and death. All right. The worst time the planet Earth has ever seen, the Great Tribulation, the time of Jacob's trouble. Okay. It's also written in Daniel 12 and 1, a time of trouble. People are going to be seeking men who have the answers, men who the Lord is going to be protecting. Because not only do we have the answers, not only are we going to know what's going on in that time, the Lord is actually going to protect us in real time. He's going to come through for us in real time before our very eyes. And in the time of trouble, he's going to be delivering us, all right, feeding us. But everyone else is going to be getting jacked up, starving to death, all right, getting torn up by animals, getting taken to a concentration camp. Taking the alligator Alcatraz. But us, the Lord's gonna be with us. In everything, every step we take, the Lord's gonna be with us. That was it on that. I'm gonna end off with this. Matter of fact, I should already have it. 2 Ezra 6 and 28 says, as for faith, it shall flourish, corruption shall be overcome, and the truth which hath been so long without fruit shall be declared. And we're living in that time right now. We got the truth, we got the faith, and it's flourishing. And it's only going to increase, from faith to faith. It's only going to increase, all right? Until the Lord comes back and saves us and this place is destroyed. But Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Once again, giving our praise to you. How about Shalom?